Good morning, distinguished guests, the media, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you all for being here at this relevant but brief session. My name is Senga Nanama, Sales Executive at of 8. So, Meet the Farmers Conference is one great initiative by Crane of Mates, a management consulting firm based in Dubai with a regional office in Nigeria. We are here today for the purpose of Meet the Farmers Conference. We will get to know more about the conference and the organizations in our subsequent activities. We'd like to thank you all for making time out of your busy schedules to be here with us this morning. At this moment, so I would like to hand over to my colleague, Babatunde Adenuga, to take us through some brief documentaries on past events on Meet the Farmers Conference. Once again, you are all welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yeah, it's a bright and early morning in Accra. Yeah, it's been beautiful here. I'm glad to see our faces. My name is Babatunde. I work with Renovate, and my colleague has said, we're the organizers of Meet the Farmers Conference, agro-export event that focuses on bridging the gap between Africa and the GCC. Yeah, but before we go on to say a lot of things about what we have for today, it would be good that we know each other, and then everyone gets to just pretty much introduce our names and the organization we're with, and then that's just it. So like I've said, my name is Babatunde Adenuga, and then I'm with Crenovate Consulting. So the microphone would go, okay, right from the man in, yeah, right from you, sir. And then the microphone will continue, yeah. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, thank you.
I'm Nyako Dela from RMG Ghana Limited. We are into agriculture, importation of crop protection product, fertilizer, and seeds.
Chiando reporting for Ghana Web.
My name is Alexander Kwekudia from Joyful Agro Services.
My name is Georgina Amoa from PDSA Company Limited, the distributor of Ghanaian GPS.
My name is Ruthie Amoa from Nations Agro Limited.
My name is Inokosafo Sidu, a cashew farmer and a secretary to a farmer-based organization.
I'm Faustina Tupra. I'm with the Food and Drugs Authority.
Chitha Mingle from the Food and Drugs Authority.
I'm Kwame James into pineapple farming.
Gideon Paddy Konote. I'm from Goat Masters.
Esther Kujem Anekera, poultry farming and maize farming.
Michael Bayate from the Ghanaian Times.
I'm Abdul Karim Mohammed from Akate Farms. We are into poultry.
I'm Samuel Usampofo from Ministry of Agri.
Ruth Adashi from Cosmos Energy, and we run the Cosmos Innovation Center.
I'm Daniel Wampo from Daily Guide.
I'm Ofuswajaman Patrick from Agro-Innova.
My name is Bobby Osai. I work with City FM, City TV.
My name is Joshua Amlanung from Go Street Business.
My name is Emanuela from Trotro Tractor Limited.
Kamal Yakub is my name, from Trotro Tractor Limited as well.
I'm Godwin from Nations Agro, and my colleague here, Fifi Jehu, who is a maize farmer.
Okay, I'm Eugene Davis from Business and Financial Times newspaper.
I'm Cyril Dapper with the Dubai Chamber of Commerce.
I'm Emmanuel Atakra, land acquisition in farming and also avocado farmer.
Good morning, I'm Bola Oyedele from Crenovate Consulting. All right, yes. So, good morning, everyone, again. Thank you all for making it down here. We promised that this would be an insightful time out. We would rub minds about the progress of agriculture and agro-exports in Ghana and in Africa generally. Again, we want to appreciate us for taking our time, these 3 hours, to be here. And then we know that after now, we'll leave here with more information about not just Meet the Farmers Conference, not just Crenovate, not just exporting, but about having a true purpose of putting Africa on the global map through agriculture. Yeah. Let's put our hands together for each other. Put your hands together for yourselves. Thank you for coming out. All right. Yeah. Just as a background, what we're doing with Meet the Farmers Conference is part of our own global vision for Africa, to see that Africa solves something important in the world. And by comparative advantage, what Africa can do to better the world is through food, through the natural ability to feed people, you know. And we believe that together we can position Africa as the go-to for food and agricultural products all over the world. And Ghana is specifically, positioned. We'll still get into all this much later in the course of the event. But then about Meet the Farmers Conference, our journey started in 2017 when we had the first conference in Dubai, Meet the Farmers Conference 2017. It featured quite a number of exporters, policymakers, government people from everywhere, from different African countries, from different countries in the Middle East. And we met to discuss, to see how we can further trade in different sectors, in different value chain in agriculture. So we have this video clip from the conference in 2017.
Thank you so much for joining us at our very first Meet the Farmers Conference and exhibition. Our objective is to not only connect stakeholders from Africa and the GCC region, but to also create positive dialogue, to collaborate, and to form potential business partnerships across borders.
The UAE Minister of Economy assures Africa business community that we will provide a pro-business environment that upholds quality, efficiency, and transparency. Thank you, and wishing you all a highly productive conference ahead.
I think it is very important that people know that Africa is really a potential market for agricultural products.
Now Africa wants to get smart, have smart farming, have information technology, but forgetting that they need to strengthen the basics. So that is what they need to do. Africa needs to go back to the farmland.
Train women in farming, and as soon as I saw the advert, I said, wow, it's to be an opportunity to export Nigerian products to Dubai. So that was my purpose of coming, to meet buyers.
It's high time Africans began to take deliberate, concerted steps towards improving agriculture.
We've seen it's a very good and it's very important for Nigeria to be part of Meet the Farmer Conference. Because currently in Nigeria, we're trying to diversify our economy. And we're doing that through changing from oil. And one of the areas we're looking for to diversify our economy is agriculture.
The energy that's come out of this conference is incredible. The type of synergy, the desire to really work in partnership. Honestly, I do a lot of these conferences. It's outstanding.
I
encourage you to do more of such conferences in order that our farmers, our producers, our retailers, our business people would gain from this conference. They will have an insight into the right way to do the business.
Well, one of the first questions for new companies entering this market is, how do I do it? Where do I go? And the UAE has done a fabulous job of providing external international companies with a plethora of choices. So the panel this morning really addressed where to set up shop when you want to come in a more permanent way. And so Hamria Free Zone was one of the second largest industrial zone in the entire UAE. So we were talking a lot about what are the advantages of free zone versus mainland.
I never knew the world is in one village until this seminar that I met so many people from different countries, and relationship, the interaction was like we can do things together. So it's very, very amazing.
The whole team, the crowd that turned up, and the organizers, from the videographer to the presenters to the photographers to the branding people. I think we've all done an amazing job, and we should all be proud of ourselves.
Since the conference is ending today, I mean, the exhibition is currently going on right now. What we plan to do after the exhibition finishes, we intend to follow up with all the parties that are involved, all the stakeholders, governments, farmers, buyers, and the rest of the financial institution, so that we can move things forward, basically. It's not just attending the conference. We want to see value after the conference, basically, so that people that attend the conference or people that were not able to attend the conference afterward can see what they can actually get from the future conference, basically. So that's what we intend to do.
So that was 2017. In 2018, we came to Ghana. We went to other African countries, but then we came to Ghana also for the conference. And these are clips from the event in Ghana. It was held last year, just a little over a day last year at Kempiski.
In opening this conference, there's a true green revolution that is coming, and that will help propel us into a very bright future.
I would therefore like to conclude by commending the organizers of the event, as it provides an opportunity for investors and farmers to understand the role of government, and also to know how they can take advantage of some of these opportunities government makes available through these projects, programs, and policies.
So that was Ghana last year, and that was a build-up to the main event, which held in Dubai in November. So this is from the event last year, and this is the final video.
Welcome again to this year's Meet the Farmers Conference.
Our objective is to not only connect the stakeholders from Africa and the GCC region, but to also create positive dialogue, to collaborate and to form potential business partnerships across borders.
To be honest with you, Africa is a very important market, especially for Dubai and UAE and the GCC market.
We need to capture the technology element now in the agriculture sector in Africa. This is what they miss. And I think by having this kind of a platform, we'll be able to cooperate together, as UAE has also the technical assistance in terms of and the requirement in terms of connecting farmers with the GCC market.
Use technology and solve a problem for 1, 2, 3 farmers that you can amplify to thousands of farmers. And gradually, as you do that, the government will start taking notice of that, and they will invite you to start designing the policies that will then change the space where so many other people will then be impacted as a result of you taking that bold step to start off.
Dubai has successfully engaged the whole world, but Africa is not there. So I believe that with this event today, that Africa will get in and get inside the trade.
The Meet the Farmers Conference is a very important event, a connecting event to bridge the gap between the agricultural industry, the business industry, and that gap in the logistics industry.
Agriculture in Nigeria, that's farming in Nigeria, is rain fed. So with this, we'll be able to equip our farm with irrigation facilities so that we can cultivate all year round. The demand is there, so we just need to maximize productivity. So this is going to help us in creating the facilities that will help the farmers to increase productivity and then profitability.
We are trying to encourage all the investors to come and invest because we have abundant land resources whereby they can come and invest in farming, especially rice.
We do not look at agri just as subsistence business, but we look at agri as a business that can grow as the service center and the manufacturing center has grown, and that will contribute, and we've seen the improvement. It's contributed significantly to the development of Ghana.
I see this platform being very big, regional, because there are regional specific agendas. I see it being more internationally driven, local market, as far as local market producing and customized items for the consumer market and also for wholesale channels.
I believe this is a program that entrepreneurs should get on board, since it's going to expose them to the international body and international market.
It was a great event, and we're looking forward for the future to participate in it.
Thank you very much for having invited us.
Right. So those are the videos. So I believe that we've been able to take you through our journey from 2017 till now. So one of the big things that we'll be doing is today is telling you more about the conference, letting you know why we hold this conference. We're going into the nitty-gritty, and to do that, please help me welcome, put your hands together as you welcome our representative from Dubai. Her name is Bola Oyedele. Please put your hands together.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you very much for honoring our invitation for conference. I'll just go through a presentation just to communicate with you the importance of Meet the Farmers Conference, specifically for Ghana and why we are doing it, and then how you can also get involved in the conference as well. So basically, in this presentation, we'll be communicating the vision of the Meet the Farmers Conference to you, and how it will help us, help us promote industrialization of agriculture-based businesses in Ghana, and also to give more information on how to promote trade of agricultural products in Ghana, in Africa, and in the GCC countries specifically. And when I mean the GCC countries, our focus is UAE, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Bahrain, and Kuwait. And also to give more information how we can drive strategic foreign investment from those locations, basically. And also to enlighten the stakeholders within the agribusiness value chain, and how agri-export actually improve the GDP of Ghana. So basically, we can see that the GDP of Ghana, 54% of it comes from agriculture. And for the past 81 years, agriculture has been the mainstay of Ghana, with cocoa as the highest yielding and principal exports. And as we can see as well, agriculture accounts for over 40% of the export earnings. And it provides 90% of the food that is used to feed over 30 million people in Ghana. And as we can see, Ghana's primary export commodities are gold, cocoa, and timber. And let's take a look at the agro-export industry in Ghana. Like I said previously, the top exports of Ghana includes cocoa beans, cocoa paste, cashew, coconut, and then the Brazil nuts. Cocoa is Ghana's primary agricultural export. So basically, we can see that the government of Ghana, they are actually taking strategic steps to improve agribusiness in Ghana. Basically, the Planting for Food and Job initiative, which was launched in April in 2017, is to improve food security, job creation, and investment in agriculture. And I think that actually yielded a lot of revenue for the government. And also the Planting for Export and the rural development for promoting the planting of coconut, cashew, coffee, rubber, mango, and oil palm. So in 2017, Ghana was ranked the second largest exporter of cocoa behind Ivory Coast. And then also we can see that the main industrial crops are oil palm, cocoa, coffee, cola, cashew, cotton, rubber, sugarcane, tobacco, and kernel. While we are actually showing you all of this, is also to show you the synergy between the agricultural commodities that are being produced in Ghana and what is needed in the GCC countries, especially the UAE, which I will explain further in the presentation. So we can see that the top export origins for Ghana, #1 is India, followed by China, Switzerland, South Africa, and then Netherlands. And then the import countries are United States, China, India, Belgium, and then the United Kingdom. You can see from this presentation, we don't have the UAE, we don't have Saudi, we don't have Oman, we don't have Kuwait, we don't have Bahrain. And this location, these are deserts where food is needed in abundance. So why is Ghana not taking advantage of this lucrative market? Now, if we look at the analysis of the Ghana export market, like we've mentioned before, the main commodities are gold, cocoa, tuna, diamond, and horticultural produce. And we can see cocoa is #1, followed by fruit and nuts. Further in the presentation, you will see that some of the commodities that are in high demand, especially in the UAE, Dubai, is cocoa and fruit. And Ghana is not still yet exploring that market. So the worth of Ghana's agro-industry. Ghana was ranked #2 for cocoa export, bringing over $1,000 per metric ton. And then in 2017, the World Bank estimated that over 40% of Ghana's employed population are engaged in agriculture. I believe that is one of the strengths of Ghana as a nation, when you have over 40% of the population engaged in agriculture. And then over 72% of all Ghana's working population are engaged in agriculture. So I think this is an opportunity for us to really leverage on the strength of Ghana when we have majority of the population engaged in agriculture. So now, what is Ghana's advantage for agro-export to the GCC? As you can see from the previous presentation, I could show you that cocoa and fruit are like the two most exported fruits, exported commodities coming from Ghana. And then you can see cocoa and fruit are also the two most imported products that are being imported into the GCC region, having a staggering value of over $4 billion as at 2018. Now we can see that Ghana has all it takes, even if it's just 10% or even if it's just 1% of what we have here. That is what Ghana is exporting to the GCC. I believe it's time for us to take advantage of this opportunity that we have in the GCC region. Now, we've taken a step further to look at what are the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunity that lies there for the Ghana agro industry. Like I've mentioned, having over 40% of the total employment of the total population being employed in agriculture is one of the biggest strengths for the agro industry in Ghana. And also, Ghana is the USAID focus country for Feed the Future initiative in West Africa. And as we can see, the Ghanaian government is actually making a lot of effort and putting a lot of initiative together to promote the agribusiness, especially agri-export in Ghana. Now, some of the threats that we have actually identified is the suspension of the cocoa bean sales by 2020-2021. But from our research as well, we've seen that Ghana actually has a lot of other agro-commodities in abundance that they are not really leveraging on for exports. So even the farmland in the North Ghana are prone to environmental degradation and unpredictable weather, leading to food insecurity. But regardless of all these threats and problems that we see, we believe that there are solutions. So one of the things that we've been doing with these conferences as well is actually connecting technical experts with some of the farmers on how they can improve in farming and also in agricultural businesses as well. And also, still in Africa, we still consider farmers as poor because majority are actually still involved in the subsistence farming. But I believe all of that can be changed because having this kind of conference and this initiative, we're trying to change the mindset that farmers are not poor. It is not a poor profession. Even during this conference, I actually see myself and I call myself a farmer as well. So what are the opportunities there for the agro industry in Ghana? With the various government initiatives, I believe this initiative will increase the farmers' access to credit, link the farmers to the market, and increase private sector investment. So we've been working closely to some of the major stakeholders within the agribusiness in Ghana, the government as well, the policymakers, the bank, insurance. So what we'll be doing even with the conference is we'll be providing a lot of information to everyone within the agri-stakeholder. Also, the pricing and export rates by the International Cocoa Organization and Ghana Cocoa Board will boost productivity, and also the high quality and flavor of Ghana's cocoa being exported worldwide, thus increasing export revenue. One of the opportunity that has not been mentioned here is, of recent, Ghana and the UAE, they are beginning to have very good relationship. And then what we've been appealing to all the governments in Africa as we go around to introduce this conference basically is to tell them how can we leverage on the bilateral agreement between the African countries and the UAE. A lot of reasons why other countries, especially the Asian countries, they have they've dominated the market, because a lot of people will tell us, oh, the Asian countries have dominated the agribusiness market in the UAE. But why have they been able to dominate? The government have been able to leverage on the bilateral agreement that they have with this country. They've strengthened it. So we are calling on our government as well to please do this for us as well, because that is very important, because the more the bilateral agreement and the relationship is strengthened, the more we have, you know, access to the market as well. So, but for Ghana, to be honest with you, the relationship between both countries have actually been strengthened over time. So some of the weaknesses that we've identified basically is the underfunding. We won't deny the fact of underfunding and lack of incentives given to farmers. And also a lot of farmers, majority of the farmers, despite the big percentage of people working within the agricultural sector, a lot of the farmers still depend on the traditional method of farming. And then too many middlemen in the agricultural value chain. So now I'll be talking about the top agro products in the UAE that are being imported into the UAE. So as you can see from the category, the first one is the soft, which is coffee, cocoa, sugar, and tea, which I believe Ghana has in abundance. So I think the people within this, the cocoa farmers, the coffee farmers, the sugar and the tea, people within this industry should start looking at taking advantage of this opportunity. And also this presentation, you can meet with my colleague Senga. She's going to provide everyone with this presentation if you wish to have it. And also, we have grains, we have edible nuts, we have oilseeds, we have pulses, we have herbs, and then some other agro-commodities. There's a whole lot of them, but these are like the top 10, top 20 that are being imported into the to the UAE and to the GCC countries. And also, this slide just shows the value of the agro-commodities, the import value of the agro-commodities, basically. Now, why Dubai, why UAE, why are we talking about GCC? The first thing, so one of the biggest strengths of the UAE is the open trade policy, the presence of the free trade zone. So even let's say you want to set up your business in the UAE, there are a lot of free zones there. A lot of people actually have this misconception about the UAE, like if I set up my business in the UAE, do a local partner have to take majority of the shares and all of that? No, they have the, even Crenovate as a company is set up in the UAE with 100% ownership by the owner of the company. And then, as we all know, for the UAE, the good infrastructure and logistics that is available. And also, we all know that the UAE, Dubai especially, is a logistic hub and is a re-exporting hub. So basically, if you want to export to all other GCC countries and even the far Middle East, all the re-exporting is done through Dubai, basically. So that is why Dubai is known as the logistic hub of the Middle East region. And also the functioning port and warehouses, and with their sophisticated facilities, and then a wider reach as a member of the GCC, and then conducive financial and business environment, resulting to ease of doing business. And the opportunity there is UAE actually imports 80% of its food. And why is that? Because the country is a desert. They really don't have the climatic condition to actually grow their own food. Most of the food that is being grown in the UAE is done through, some various technologies that they use, hydroponics farming, aquaponics farming, and whatnot. And also, the current food import of the UAE is worth over $100 billion. So for Crenovate as a company, our target basically is we need for a start. We're a small company, so we can't do a lot. So for a start, we're looking at 1% of this $100 billion. So if we can get $1 billion through this initiative for Africa, I believe that we are also doing our own part of Africa feeding the world, basically. And then, like I mentioned as well, Dubai is a re-exporting hub to other countries, and the free trade zone opportunities, and then Dubai and other emirates within the UAE are developing rapidly into a more urbanized city, attracting more multinational brands. So as we said initially, Crinovate is the organizer and the convener of the Meet the Farmers Conference. And then our proposal to Ghana as a country. So like we've said, basically Meet the Farmers Conference is the first of its kind agro-trade and networking conference in Dubai, because we are just focused on 2 regions, Africa and the GCC, whereby what we want to do is to connect all the agribusiness stakeholders within that value chain, the ones in Africa and then the ones in GCC. So it's not just about the farmers, even people within the packaging industry, logistics, finance, government, insurance, everyone within the value chain, basically. We're trying to connect everyone. And then the people in Dubai as well. We are not just trying to connect to the off-takers. Even we are looking at, this year, we are looking at the banks in Dubai and the banks in Africa coming together to be able to address the financial mistrust between, the agro-trader and also the off-taker in Dubai, basically. So usually the Meet the Farmers Conference is always a 2-day event, because after we've gone to all the African countries and all the GCC countries, in November we all convene together to have the main conference. So, like we keep saying, we believe Africa can feed the world, and we really believe so, because I believe we have everything in abundance. It's just for us to, how do we leverage the opportunity that God has actually given to Africa. So basically, Meet the Farmers Conference remains the perfect opportunity to network and also to build long-lasting relationship, agro-trade relationship with other stakeholders. So basically, even the Meet the Farmers Conference actually started from, it actually came from a passion of, we've been doing our research, and then we find out that, okay, $100 billion of food comes from around the world to Dubai. And then we started thinking, how much comes to Africa from this $100 billion? And then we find out that it was something 0.00%. It's like, it was like almost nothing. But the thing is this, we still find out that a lot of our the commodities in Dubai comes from Africa. But the biggest problem for us is it comes from Africa, but not by Africans. So the people bringing it into the country, we all know that it is not rocket science. So why can't we bring in these commodities by ourselves? Why can't we package? Why can't we process? It's not rocket science. The people doing it, we can also do the same. Do we have to follow their model? Do we have to see what exactly they are doing? So that was where the passion actually came from, that it's time for us to do it ourselves. And basically doing it for ourselves is making more money for ourselves at the end of the day. So, and for Africa, and at the end of the day, if we start actually taking our own commodities directly to these countries and not people doing it on behalf of us, and then we are doing it properly, it will definitely attract foreign investments, because those are some of the things that we are looking for as well. It's not just to export the raw materials, it's actually to add value to these materials before we export them. So if we need the infrastructure, if we need the facilities, this can actually easily attract foreign investment for us in Africa. And also, it will improve bilateral trade between the 2 regions. And it will also enable us to actually increase the standard and the qualities of our commodities as well, because that's one of the biggest issues, and that has to be tackled before we can even really like move ahead in the exports business. So basically, we've been doing this for the past 2 years. We started in 2017. This will be the 3rd conference. For the past 2 years, we've focused on the future of agribusiness. But this year, we've taken it a step further to changing our theme to creating a sustainable future. Because creating a sustainable future is we don't want to do business one time and that is it. How can we develop and create opportunity that is going to be for a lifetime? We need to stop this one-time business and then that is it. We need to make it sustainable. And a lot of things is required to make it sustainable as well. We are looking at, food security, we are looking at trade, and then we are looking at technology. And for technology, it requires a lot of creativity and innovation as well. So why should you attend this event? I've actually said a lot of reasons why you should attend, but just to add more to that, to participate in insightful conversations, because we'll be having people from, across the whole continent, that's Africa, and across the GCC as well. And also to learn what is working and what is not working. Like the last conference, I actually learned a very interesting fact of there's a farmer, I won't be specific so that you can't guess which country I'm talking about, who has about like 100 plots of land, and what it produces on that 100 plots of land. There is another farmer from Asia who has like 10 plots of land, and it produces more of the same product that somebody that has 100 plots of land. What is the person doing differently? How is the person leveraging on the small size of his own farm and able to produce more? So these are the kind of conversation that we want people to have, partnering with technical experts who can actually give them more information and more knowledge of how to do things more effectively. And also to develop and strengthen your brand. And then, of course, network and build strategic business partnership on a global scale. So basically, we've already started the importance of the media launch, basically, just like what we are doing here, is to introduce and announce the conference and get people ready. We don't just want people to come for the conference to network, because at the end of the day for us, as a consulting company, if we just do conferences without actual trade, like we are just wasting our time. So what we try to do with the media launch is we try to get people ready for what will come in Dubai, so that even before you come to Dubai, who are the kind of buyers you want to meet? Who are the kind of people you want to meet? Because for us, our target is we want trade to happen. We want business to happen. So basically, we've started from Ethiopia. We went to Namibia, Kenya, Rwanda, and today we're in Ghana. And then we'll be proceeding to Uganda, Tanzania, Lagos, Abuja, Angola, Congo, Saudi, Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, then finally Dubai. So you're welcome to join us on this journey. And also, we are going to Cameroon and Ivory Coast as well, but it's not included in this map. And also, I would like to mention our official airline partner is Ethiopian Airline. And they've told us for people who want to do the cargo, they'll be giving a lot of discounts. So if you are already in the trade, so it does not necessarily have to be to Dubai, to anywhere Ethiopia Airline flies to, they will be giving some reasonable discounts. This is just a way for them to also promote export from Africa to the world. And also our free trade zone partner, DMCC, they are the largest free trade zone in the UAE, and also one of our very good partners, UAE African Networking Group. They've been very supportive from the beginning of this conference. And also, we would like to thank Travels on Click. They've been the one helping us with everything that has to do with traveling around Africa and around the world, basically, to promote this conference. So basically, the conference is going to be held in November 27 and 28 in Dubai at the Dubai Marina address. The address, Dubai Marina. So it's a 2-day event, and I will really be glad to see every faces that I've seen here today at the conference. So I think basically this is everything, and I hope I've not been too boring with the long presentation, but I hope you're able to learn one or two things from it. We couldn't really make it much more comprehensive than this because we wanted to keep it very short, but we'll still get into the questions and answer sessions. If there is any question, I'll be available to answer all your questions. And then And also my colleague Babatunde will do a small presentation on the requirements of exporting to the UAE, the document required, the process, and all of that. It's a very short presentation as well. And if you want any of the presentations, please let us know. We'll give you the soft copy as well. Thank you very much for listening.
All right, thank you very much for listening to the goal of the conference, the need for the conference. It's been explained. We've done this quite a number of times, and we've seen trade activities actually come from it. And we're glad to see that Africa is able to do something meaningful in global trade and economics. And so from what she has explained, we see that it's necessary that we, as we go around to all these countries to talk about the conference, talk about agriculture, talk about exports, that we also begin from now, even ahead of the conference, look at the requirements that will be needed to export into the UAE. Now, the UAE is the business hub for the rest of the GCC region. The GCC is Gulf Cooperation Council, and it includes those countries such as Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Oman. Now, food comes into the UAE, then it's redistributed. So it's important that we're familiar with this, and then we can even begin from now to discuss how we can help export. And then by the time the conference has come, we're already an exporter, and then we can even further grow our network through the conference. All right. As we know, over 1 billion people the world over engage in agriculture, and the agriculture industry, as far back as 2016, generates close to 3.2 trillion. From this, the market in the GCC is worth over 400 billion, and then it will grow over the next 6 years. 30% of, now, like I explained the other time, the UAE consumes only 30% of its food. Then the rest is re-exported to places like Bahrain, Oman, and Kuwait. So Dubai is strategically positioned as a business hub, strategically positioned also as a logistics hub. Trade happens there. You know, the Dubai airport, for example, is the second, at the moment, is the second busiest in the world. So it just goes to show that a lot of activities happen regarding business, regarding trade, and can also extend to agro exports through our involvement. All right, so the requirements for exporting to the UAE in detail now would require the country of origin certificate. Of course, that would be approved by the Chamber of Commerce in the country where they're coming from. Health certificates for the crops. For example, cocoa has its health certificates with the, it has to match the requirements of the country of origin and the country of its destination, which is UAE. So in this case, it has to match our standards in Ghana and our standards in the UAE. Then there'll be inspection certificates, the phytosanitary certificate for the product. Then there will be the airway bill, the bill of entry. This would be gotten from the logistics partners. And like we've said, with Ethiopian Airlines, we're able to offer good discounts, you know, if we're exporting to the UAE through our platform. Then there's the packing list also. Now, the labeling requirements, this is a sample of how the labeling should be. It has to be written in both English and Arabic. You know, like we can see, you know, the country of origin has to be written, the content, the nutrient content in it has to be written, and it has to be clear. The description of the product, the brand name, the production expiry date, this has to be written in both English and Arabic. It has to be translated, right, to Arabic. The content weight in metric tons. Now this, so it's eventually at the conference we'll learn a lot more about the packaging requirements and all of those things. But even the raw produce has to be packed in a particular way for it to meet the requirements for the UAE government. All right, so the container and box labeling requirements as the country of origin, the details of the producer. This is on the box now. The country of origin, details of the producer, details of the vendor, special, if there are any special storage conditions that it must be, the instructions have to be there, and then the approval from Ministry of Health and lot identification. Other things will be the import certificate from the municipality of Dubai and the visual inspection to ensure compliance. That should be the last in that line. Now, where goods are imported into a free trade zone, custom duties are not payable. Now, our organization, Crinovate, has partnered with DMCC. And so exporters from Ghana, from any country in Africa, it puts them at an advantage if we're going to be facilitating exports through us for the UAE markets. All right, so this is, now I'm sure you must have been asking in your mind that, okay, so how then can I begin? This is a sample process chart for exporting to the UAE. The first thing is all those documents that we have listed must be available. The second thing is you have to submit the bill of lading and charge settlement to the shipping agency, whatever logistics company you would be using. And then the delivery order is received by the shipping agency. Then you log into Dubai Trade to create and submit the import declaration application. So everything about one of the reasons why Dubai is strategic for trade is also because everything is sort of like automated. Technology is enabling even exports and imports for them. So you have to log into Dubai Trade platform to enable this happen. And then you make the necessary payments. You get the custom verification. You print out that. Then you settle DP World payments using all this. Using the DP World payment e-service. Then now the beautiful thing about all this is we have mastered it. We have done it not once, not twice. We've done it over and over again. So we're able to hold you through the entire process. We're able to walk you through to make it easy for exporters. Because one of the big issues with food from Africa is that we have the food. Sometimes it just doesn't meet the standards. Sometimes it doesn't meet, it could just be packaging. Sometimes it is lack of information. And then that's why we're having the Meet the Farmers Conference to properly disseminate this information about opportunities in the agro-export industry, especially to UAE and the GCC region. All right, so some frequently asked questions. What is the rate of custom duty in Dubai? It's 5% of the custom freight insurance. Yeah. What documents will be required to permit imported goods into the free trade zone? These documents, the delivery order, the invoice, the certificate of origin, exemption certificates, duty receipts, just as I've explained in the other slide. Who will be responsible to clear cargo from the custom in Dubai? So the consignees holding a UAE Federal or Dubai Economic Department license. So only a business with this license can clear goods from the can clear goods in Dubai. Now, agents that have the clearing and forwarding license, right? What documents are required to clear the goods? The commercial invoice, pretty much all this that we can see listed. So I'm sure another question would be, how can I find an agent? That is part of why we're here, to help find agents, help find distributors. Anything beyond farming, I know it could be very difficult for many people involved in agriculture, and that's why it's good to extend. So with getting agents, getting distributors, getting assistance, in whatever form, you can talk to our organization. We can ensure that it is facilitated, even up to business setup, setting up and owning a business in Dubai. You know, we're able to help do all of that. Okay, so some of the top off-takers in the UAE, these are just some of them: Food Specialists Limited, Safco, Asia and Africa General Trading, Al Saini, IFCO, Arabia, Delta Food, Global Food Industry, Amoria Foodstuff, Sanway, Akan Agro Group, you know, quite a number of them. We have access to them in our database. We are able to allow you be introduced to them, link up. We can have the trade facilitation through any of these agents, right? And then the beautiful thing about the conference is many of these off-takers will also be at the conference. So it's a good opportunity to network, to expand your network, and see for yourself how things are done in regarding agro-export to the GCC. All right, so why Dubai? Dubai is advanced in infrastructure, logistics, technology. Is easier to, is a lot easy, very, very easy to do business in Dubai. And I mean, you could literally be in Estonia, you could be in Seychelles, you could be right here in Ghana and manage your business in Dubai, because everything is automated. So it's clear, it's easy for you to see and know. And then the big opportunity is that Dubai will host the Expo 2020 that will happen from February to August next year. The Expo 2020 is a massive event. It's going to have people, millions of people troop into Dubai. At last count is an average of about 600,000 in 1 month. And that's a lot. They will need food. They will need food. They will need... It's a lot of new people coming into Dubai, coming through Dubai also. They will need food. The food demand would increase. It is, at this time, we feel like it's important for us to align with exporting, align with that market, see the opportunities there, and see what it can bode for our businesses. So what are the challenges typically from our different interactions with different people? We've been able to identify that some of the challenges, like I mentioned the other time, some of the challenges could even be as little as information. Some of the one major challenge we've seen also is complying with standardization, certification, and quality promotion. You know, there's a challenge of, okay, this is the standard required to be imported. And then, let's say cocoa, for example. Maybe I'm a farmer in a business sense, but I'm not a farmer like on the soil farmer. But I know that there are certain requirements, maybe soil content, water nutrients and all that, that is required in the UAE. If most times we find that many African farmers just want to send what they have without thinking of how to comply with the export. So even before venturing into the process of farming, we have to be clear about these are the requirements, and those are things that we are looking to also help eradicate by introducing farmers to policymakers, bringing people together in one conference to say this is what is required. Before you export, this is what you must know. And then through the process, we're able to help you walk through it as well. Some of the challenges are also with pricing. There's competition, you know, Indians, people from the Asian continent majorly. Because they have some access to mostly even African, sometimes they price better. So, and with that, of course, it does not give us the advantage. So even with our pricing models, we might need to tweak to be able to play in this available market. Financial mistrust, you know, and that's why, like she mentioned, it's important that we have everybody from the value chain in the entire deal, you know, not just farmers now, not just government, not just policymakers, but even financial organizations, so that it's easy for banks in the GCC to deal with banks from Ghana, to deal with banks from Nigeria, from Africa. You know, that's why we want to have financial institutions on board, logistics companies on board, as many as possible that we can extend to see that together we can overcome all these challenges and see that Africa truly fulfills its potential to feed the world. All right, so that's about it, really. But again, we just want to reiterate that the goal in the end is that Africa comes to a point where the world will need us, with the Food and Agriculture Organization predicting that we might have a food security challenge sometime soon, later in the next about 4 or 5 years. Africa is strategically positioned to give food to different continents, to different countries, and we can, if we put the right things in place, if we have the right people in place, if we have the right information in place. And that's why Meet the Farmers Conference is premised on the fact that Africa can feed the world, and we would appreciate if we partner to make this a reality. Thank you very much. All right, so we have a few people in the house from different organizations that would take a few statements from some of them have been with us from 2017, some from last year, and it's just good that we have all these partnerships going, all these organizations that are willing to come on board and see how we can make things better regarding agro exports in the GCC and Africa. With us today we have Mr. Cyril Dakwa. Is the head of the Dubai Chamber of Commerce in Ghana. So for about, we'll just give a brief statement, and then we'll continue with the rest of the program. Let's put our hands together as we welcome Mr. Cyril Dakwa.
Thank you very much for the introduction, and a good morning to you all. Basically, I love Crinovate because they make my work very, very easy. Who doesn't like someone who makes his or her work easy? Basically, let me just give a brief background of Dubai Chamber and what we do. Dubai Chamber is a quasi-government institution set up in Dubai in 1965. Now, what we do is quite simple. We connect Dubai businesses to local businesses where we have a presence. Currently, we have about 4 offices in Africa, and the office in Ghana, which I represent, looks after the West African sub-region. We have a membership base of over 230,000 members, and these are all companies based in Dubai. To an extent, it's sort of mandatory to be part of the chamber. The only exception is when you are registered in one of the 28 free zones enclaves in Dubai. Now, just to narrow down to the focus of this event, when you look at the West African sub-region, we can confidently say most of the West African countries are agrarian nations. Basically, farming is the mainstay of most of these countries. Now, in the presentation, I realized mention was made of the total food imports into Dubai on a yearly basis. That currently stands at about $100 billion. Can anyone guess Ghana's contribution to this figure in terms of millions of dollars? Anyone? Do you want to give it a try? Like roughly how much? $25 million. That is grossly inadequate when you look at the total food import. I mean, as Mbola mentioned, Dubai imports about 80% of what they consume. From anything you can think of, even to eggs. Eggs are imported into Dubai. So this shows that there is a huge opportunity for businesses, for companies, for farmers in Ghana to tap into this potential. Now, from where we sit, we basically have a database of all companies registered in Dubai. So one of the major things that we do is connect these companies to off-takers, or connect these companies to potential people in Africa that are willing to export to Dubai. It was also mentioned that looking at Expo 2020 coming up next year, we are expecting a surge in numbers in terms of visitors. Currently, the number is pegged at 20 million visitors next year. And as it was rightly said, all these people will need to eat. And obviously, we're looking at Ghana contributing more to the food basket and food security of Dubai. Why Dubai? Because it's quite easy to do business in Dubai. Dubai currently ranks as the first in the Arab world in terms of the ease of doing business in the Arab world. So I mean, most of the systems and processes are all online, so it's quite easy to connect with various institutions like DED, ESMA, to basically get compliance stuff in order. What we also do as a chamber is to help people, local companies, through the it's like a cradle to the grave approach. So from issues like packaging, certification, requirements, and down to the basic and important thing of connecting your businesses to off-takers in Dubai, our office in Ghana can actually assist to this effect. When you look at the food imports from, let's say, South America, for the first half of last year, it stood at 600 million, and this is a huge figure. Now, when you go back to the figure that I mentioned previously, $25 million, it's grossly inadequate, especially when you consider the fact that about 80% of people in Ghana are involved in farming. What we are also pushing in Ghana, as far as my office is concerned, is not just the exportation of primary or raw products. I mean, I see that as the low-hanging fruit as far as trade is concerned. But ultimately, we should be looking at empowering local businesses, increasing their capacity. So what my office is currently doing is driving investment from companies that have an interest in agriculture in Ghana. So for example, if someone is into the production of, let's say, tomatoes, pineapple, it's not all about connecting that local farmer to an off-taker in Dubai. It's how we can bring in people to help them expand, for them to go into production. I mean, several retailers and food outlets joints in Dubai, which currently stands at about 16,500, are looking for food security. So for example, instead of coming to you to say, you are into pineapples, can you give me 2 containers every month? We are encouraging companies in Dubai to invest in local companies to basically set up basic manufacturing plants to process these products, which they can in turn off-take from you, and maybe say you can have 20% of that produce in the local market. So in as much as this forum focuses on connecting farmers to off-takers in Dubai, we should actually expand the conversation to see how we can drive investment as well into local businesses. Bola, you mentioned the issue of a farmer with 100 plots producing, and another Asian farmer with 10 plots producing more. I mean, these are some of the things that we need to look at to see how we can empower the local businesses. I mean, I know some of the banks are adverse to financing agric-related activities, obviously because of the risk element involved. What we are doing is to bring in companies and individuals, investors who have an interest and who have the experience in basically mitigating risks involved in agriculture, to partner local companies to help them understand the various risks associated in the agriculture process and help them mitigate these risks and increase their output. So basically, in a nutshell, we support what Quinovate is doing. We've been working with them quite closely over the past year. We've been working closely with Daisy. They've been collaborating with our office in Dubai. We give our full support, and we will be a partner in your quest to increase the exports and trade in general between companies or individuals in Africa and counterparts in Dubai. So on this note, in order not to bore you further, I would say this is a good conference to attend. We're looking at seeing you all there later this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cyril. It's been very, very supportive, and their office is a powerful office. So with all these things concerning Dubai, you can always also reach out through them to us. We were collaborators in pushing these frontiers of business and to the UAE. All right, very quickly, we also have with us representative from Cosmos Energy. We have the communications director, Ruth Adashi. She'll just come and give us a statement as well. Please put your hands together.
Thank you. Good evening. This is going very short. Cosmos, this is the first time we are aligning ourselves with Meet the Farmers. They sent us an invitation, and we are actually doing this because Cosmos Energy, we are basically an oil and gas and exploration and production company, but we have touched another part of the Ghanaian economy, which is agriculture, which we believe that together with energy has the potential of moving Ghana's economy forward. So we created the Cosmos Innovation Center in 2016 with the aim of inspiring, investing, and encouraging young people to use technology, innovation to lift agriculture to the next level. To date, we have created 15 companies. We have some of them here, Trotro Tractor, Agro-allied, and these are very formidable young companies. They are doing a lot within the agri space. Our interest in this is aligning these young companies that we have created to take advantage of that open space beyond Ghana, showcasing their businesses and potentially creating business opportunities for them. So currently, I think we have about 5 of the 11 companies who have signed up to the challenge that you have. And we are hoping that they are going to win because these are very young and very knowledgeable companies. So yes, we have not committed to be in Dubai yet. This is still a learning curve for us, but we are, as a first step, encouraging that matter. That is the 11 companies that we have created to expose the Meet the Farmers Conference to them. I want to mention, you talked about eggs. We have one of our companies, Agro-allied. Agro-allied actually works with poultry farmers to help them manage their farms in a very efficient way. Actually, on their platform, it's what, *713*29. You can try that right now. And there, it's a platform that links buyers, sellers, and even domestic users to eggs, and then farming services for poultry farmers. So these are some of the companies that we've created. We have Complete Farmer that does farming. We have Tech Shelter that does all these young companies are helping to boost food productivity in Ghana along the value chain. We have also some involved in livestock. So of course, this is an opportunity for all these young companies and young guys through the Cosmos Innovation Center to be exposed to the world, to create businesses, to create food security for Ghana and beyond Ghana. So thank you, Farmers Conference. We will still collaborate with you and see what can come eventually, whether we'll be part of the big conference in Dubai. But thank you very much for inviting us to this program.
We're confident, madam, that Cosmos will be part of the conference. Yeah. Put your hands together for Cosmos Energy. We're sure that they'll be on board. Yes. And thank you for all the innovation that has come from your side regarding, especially regarding agri-technology. Yeah, it's important that bigger organizations begin to tap into the opportunities in agriculture and help promote, not just tap in it for profit, but help promote young startups that are involved in agri-technology. We also have something in the conference, with Meet the Farmers Conference, regarding startups and agri-technology that we would share. It's called the Innovate Agri Challenge, and then it's an agri competition for young farmers, young agri producers, agri-technology companies, where they pitch their ideas to investors, to the audience, and then we decide a winner who would get $5,000. Last year, the person that won from Ghana, Qualitrace, yeah, they won from Ghana. They eventually went on an all-expense-paid trip to the conference to UAE, Dubai, for the pitch event. We'll still talk more on that as we continue. All right, very quickly, as we continue to take statements from different stakeholders, we have with us the Food and Drugs Authority, and then I'd like to welcome Ms. Faustina Atupra for a statement from Food and Drugs Authority. Okay, all right. Please put your hands together for him.
Hello. We just want to thank everybody for inviting us. We are from the Food and Drugs Authority. We are the regulators of food. And if it comes to exporting out of the country, then you need to first see us so that we give you the requisite permits to do what you need to do. And it will be very much appreciated that before you export your product, because you're giving it to other countries, let us have here as well. Make sure your products are as good as the one that you have taken out. And when you come through us, you know how it's done. And I heard Babatunde talking about certain regulations that are expected within the Dubai region. The labeling, the kind of languages that are supposed to be on your packaging. All these things are applied to Ghana as well. So you need to know these ones here. If you know how it's done, exporting out becomes easier. So as much as you want to export, let's learn regulatory frameworks within this country before you think about taking your products out. For FDA, we are always open. Though as we are seated, we are not sure we'll be committed to coming to Dubai for what is going on in November. However, we are always here making sure that you have the best of food on the table. Thank you.
Thank you very much, regulators from Food and Drugs Authority. Yeah, so we know the conference is focused on food security, trade, and technology. And technology is very important for us. So it's good that we have some tech startups in the house focused on technology, focused on agriculture, tech startups focused on agriculture. We have Trot Tractors, and we have the chief executive, Kamaldeen Yakub. He would tell us a bit about Trot Tractors, about their alignment with agriculture, and generally about the agri-tech landscape in Ghana. Please put your hands together for Kamaldeen.
Thank you, Baba. Good morning. I don't have to speak because Auntie Ruth, our investors, just spoke about me. But Baba calls me, then I have to say something. So our technology platform allows farmers and tractor owners to connect. And you can easily do that with feature phones. You don't need internet. So the target group of people who use the platform are the people living in rural communities. And the vision is to reduce the drudgery and the labor-intensive way of doing things on the food production side of the whole thing. So, and also to encourage young people to take agriculture as a business, because then they are not using cutlass or hoe, but they are using tractors. And they don't have to buy the tractors, but they have to buy the services of the tractors, which is very affordable if you look at it. For example, for an acre, you are looking at 140 cedis for a whole acre, and that is all you need. You don't need any other thing. So for a vegetable producer who is doing on an acre, you're doing a much more job. So basically, Trotro Tractor connect farmers and tractor owners and other mechanization services together to make things happen on the production of food side. Linking this to food security on a bigger picture is you being in Accra and able to farm from in your village in, for example, Aguna Nyakrom. It's possible. So if you are here and you have a farm in your village, you can actually order for a tractor in your village. And somebody will be there, maybe a family member, to oversee their activities. And this is what we are looking at, attracting young people to enter into agriculture from everywhere. And very soon we are introducing the smartphone version of the app that can allow you to sit in America and Europe and farm from Ghana, so smart farming to call it. So yeah, in a nutshell, that is what we do at Trotro Tractor, and the vision to make farming very attractive to everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kamal. You know, we strongly believe that technology can help agriculture in Ghana, in Africa, you know, and then is the exponential effect, the fact that with one piece of land you can harvest yields that are what more like normal, and then with companies like Trotro Tractors making it easy for people to do business. You know, there's also Qualitrace, who are in the counterfeiting aspect. You know, there's quite a lot to do in agriculture, from logistics, it's end-to-end, policymakers, everything. So regarding policy, we have a representative from the Ministry of Agric. It's important that we have government involved in this. We cannot overemphasize the importance of ministry, the importance of policymakers in promoting agro-export. And then we have with us Samuel Ampofo, who just briefly make a statement on behalf of the Ministry of Agric. Thank you. Please let's get up for him.
Thank you very much. I think basically what the Ministry of Agric does is to implement government policies and programs. Currently, as they mentioned, Planting for Food and Job is ongoing, where farmers are being supported. Seed, fertilizers is being subsidized for farmers to get access to good seeds. Actually, the impact of that program was to help farmers to get good seeds, quality seeds, at a subsidized price, so that farmers can produce a lot and the yields of farmers will go up. And if your yield have to go up, one important factor is fertilizer, which is expensive. So the government decided to subsidize fertilizer as well. So the two components, the fertilizer, the seed, which can easily increase the yield, is being subsidized by the government to support Ghanaian farmers, so that at the end of the day, there will be enough food for Ghanaians, there will be enough food to export, there will be enough food to export to Dubai, so Ghanaian farmers will benefit, and eventually the country too will benefit. And there is another program that they mentioned, PEG, which is Planting for Export and Rural Development. The target is maybe after 5 years, by 2024, yeah, during 2024, Ghana will be able to export a lot. I realize that they mentioned a lot about cocoa. Ghana exports a lot of cocoa, but the target of the government is, at the end of the day, is going to be, we want to try as much as possible for Ghanaian farmers to be able to get other export commodities, like oil palm, coffee, cashew, so that we will get something which will compete with cocoa. So if Ghanaian farmers are able to export enough of oil palm, coffee, cocoa, in addition to cocoa, you can see what the country will gain eventually. And this is going to also help us, not just the exports. The government have a target of establishing factories. So if you establish factories and there are no raw materials, so the government wants to help the farmers to get enough raw material. So after some years, maybe after 5 years, we'll be able to establish factories that will be able to use these raw materials to produce something for exports. So at the end of the day, I think the government is in line with the program, the Meet the Farmer Conference program. So the government wants to export a lot of materials to other neighboring countries and other foreign countries as well. So I'll urge each and everyone to take opportunities that is being offered from the Ministry of Agri to support farmers as well. Thank you.
So as we begin to wind down, because of course we still have a lot to do in the course of the day, as we begin to wind down, it will be good for us to get feedback, especially with questions. So it's good that we're here and then we're able to answer these different questions. The microphone will go around. So do we have people that have questions? Do we have any questions or comments? It could be from the media. It could be from any of us. Do we have any questions at all? Okay, yeah.
Thank you very much for the presentations. I saw on the presentation that there was the conference fee of early bird and last bird. That's the amount, but what are the estimated costs? Because you are staying there for 2 days. I'm sure the hotel, traveling costs, and all those ones. Can it at least be known so that somebody who really wants to have an idea of the budgets involved? Thank you.
That's one question, all right.
Yeah, I've been to many of such programs, and most of the times when you go, you would expect that with time, such programs contribute significantly to agribusiness in Ghana. But when you wait for 2 years, 3 years, and you look back to some of the things that were discussed, they don't reflect. The question is, how different is this? What is the guarantee that maybe in the next 1 year, if we are to look back and analyze this event, we can be able to see it perfectly reflect in the figures that were indicated? What are the guarantees?
All right, so do we have any other question? So we can take on, or let's take these first two. All right, and then.
So for the travel, let me address that. We can talk to our staff here because we are registered in Ghana as well and then we have our staff. So the company that we use, Travels on Click, arrange all the travel, because basically we just really want to encourage people to come. So they'll be giving subsidized rates. We've partnered with Ethiopia Airline and even with other airlines as well. So even for the visa processing and the accommodation, we are really looking at a subsidized rate, because for us, the target is we want as many people as possible to come so that there can be discussions and then negotiations and eventually trade. So for the travel as well, the company has partnered with relevant travel agencies that can actually provide the travel services. So you can meet with us, with me, with him, or with Senga, and then they will give you more information. I hope that answers the question. Yeah, now, the difference for the conference, what I would say Meet the Farmers is different. Let me explain again. Creanovate is a consulting firm. So you can see that our own target is also tied to the conference. We are not a company that organizes conference. That's the difference. A whole lot of other companies, their job is we want to organize conference. Ours is not just organizing a conference. Because what we realized is even going to the government in Dubai, telling them we want to trade, take things from us and whatnot and all of that. Somebody from the Ministry of Economy, UAE, who they have actually been like our greatest support in Dubai. He told me to my face, Bola, you are not the government. You lobbying, oh, come and trade. We have all of this in Africa. We can do this. You are not. I cannot discuss that with you. As a minister, I need to talk to the minister of the African countries. Get them here. Let's talk. Let us discuss. Let us negotiate. Let us sign MOUs. You cannot do that for me. So that is one of the reasons. It's costing us a lot to organize this conference, to do this conference. Now, for us to get our return on investment back, trade must happen. So you can see that we are practically attached to this conference. Because if you don't do trade, if trade doesn't happen, we are just wasting our time going around. What's the point of us traveling, going around and doing this conference? So like I said, from that 100 billion, for Creanovate, our target is 1%, which is $1 billion. So we need to start making trade happen. So we are really facilitating this trade, not just organizing conference. The conference is just a good way of bringing everybody together. And also that's why we are prepping people before you come for the conference. What are the requirements? What are the things that you need? So that during the conference, we can actually have actual trade and business being signed. So if there is no business, we are really wasting our time. So that's the difference for us. It's like a business, not just a conference. Does that answer the question? Yeah.
Okay, there's a question here and there's a question here. Hold on, let me take.
All right, my name is Mark Byron with UTV. My question is, how are you dealing with farmer groups? Probably we have some farmer groups who may want to get involved in what you're doing. Prior to your conference, how are you dealing with them? Because some of these conferences, it finishes, and the farmers who are supposed to actually benefit from whatever that you are coming up with, they don't even understand what you're doing. You understand? They are in the hinterland. They want to see you. Get them into groups. Probably they might not have it all, but when they put their resources together, they can make an impact. So how are you going to deal with them prior to your conference, so that it just doesn't become a conference like he's saying, but an impact-making one? Thank
you. In fact, in addition to what my brother said about the farmer group, as I earlier indicated, I'm a secretary to a farmer-based organization in Asante Achim. In fact, the post-harvest losses that we encounter is enormous. So I was very happy when Mr. Cyril talked about connecting with manufacturers and farmers to establish maybe companies so that we will produce and feed those companies. We'll be very happy because, in fact, when you go down to the grassroots or to the farmers, I'm a farmer myself. You see, we are encountering a lot of challenges because we depend on the local buyers. So if they refuse to come, it means that we are losing a lot, and it's an opportunity for us to network and also discuss a lot. Thank you.
So I'm going to just use one stone to kill two birds, basically. So like your question is very valid, and that is the point of why we are actually having this kind of discussions. And that's why we really emphasized on partnership, collaboration, and a lot of synergies, because we as a company, to be honest with you, we can't really do everything. And that is why we are trying to partner with as many people as possible. For example, the cooperatives, the farmer cooperative. We need the representative of those farmers in different local governments, in different states, where they come and, like, you know what, we are the corporate farmers for maybe cashew, for cocoa, for this. This is what we can produce. And what this conference will also do is also to educate people. Like my colleague said, what are the standards required? Not like I'm here. And another thing about things getting to waste here is, if it doesn't meet requirements, even as a local buyer, I won't take it. Let's be honest with ourselves. So even before we start something, we want to give as many information as possible. This is the right way to do it. This is what we have to do. But the only way we can do this is through partnership. So if we have certain partners here in Ghana, if anything is needed from our side, we can easily provide that information. If we need to come maybe for some training, for presentation, to talk, and all of that, we can do that. But of course, like I keep saying, the easiest way is still through the conference for now. Because as one company, how many countries can we be at the same time? Because last year we were able to go to only 4 countries, but because of a lot of outreach, you need to come to Ethiopia, you need to come to Namibia, because we're just in Kenya, Nigeria, Rwanda, and Ghana last year. But the request is so much. So for like the good thing in all these other countries that we are going to, people there, the government have actually partnered with us. Like, okay, you know what, just give us this information, give us this, give us that, what is required, what is needed, how can we go about this, and all of that. So we need those partnerships, basically, because it's just to pass information. It has no financial requirement of, okay, you are paying or we are paying you. You need this, even for people that will train. For example, last year when we had the conference in Ghana, there was somebody who spoke, I can't remember his name. He's an expert, he's from Ghana as well, in aquaponics. I think it has to do with fish or something, aquaponics basically. And everybody immediately finished, especially Nigerians, they all bombarded him. And people invited him to come to Nigeria to come and help them with the setup, because they've tried to do it, they've been doing it wrong, they've been wasting their money. So you can see the importance of this partnership, importance of collaboration, importance of passing the right information. So as a company, in all honesty, that is what we can do. So we need you to reach out to us, tell us, this is what we have, how can we do it? We look at the resources that we have, and then we'll pass it across to you. Does that answer your question? And the gentleman from UTV, was I able to answer the question? Okay, all right then. Thank you.
I have the mic now. Yeah. So, yes, on the side, I stayed in Dubai for like 7 years before starting my company here in Ghana. And I see it's very, very expensive in Dubai. 2 days is not a joke. Plus what you want to see and what you want to do, and the flights and other things. At a starting point, you need to access your company. If you are a startup, you want to spend this money in going for 2 days and coming, seriously, I think that you have to partner somebody, like 10 companies coming together, put your money together and trust one person to do the job for all of you. That has been my strategy anyway, ever since I came back, because I know the cost and I know what it means. Now, my question is that you are encouraging startups to be at this event. Do you have any package for startups or representatives of startups to be there for other ones, like so they can't pay, because we know it's expensive? That is my question.
Okay, to answer that, first of all, last year what we did with the startup, with the agri-tech companies, is we did this competition. We started it last year just to encourage people really in this agricultural business. Because really, with this conference, we're also trying to change the perception, like you've said. It is not a poor man's business. I proudly call myself a farmer now. If anybody asks me, oh, Bola, how are you? What do you do? I'm like, I'm a farmer. Like, proudly. Even when we do the conference in Dubai, we use one of the most expensive hotels. And people come there and like, I'm coming for the Meet the Farmers conference, and we're like, this is the conference, and they're like, this is an oil and gas conference. We said no. They said, why would you do a farmers conference in Waldorf Astoria? And I'm like, why can't we do a farmers conference in Waldorf Astoria? So basically, that's why we are really trying to encourage people. Now, for the startup, the best we can do is through the competition. Now, the winner of that competition from Ghana, even last year, trace. We paid for all the trip, everything from start to finish. It was a free trip and whatnot. And we are doing the same again this year. But now we are doing it in more countries. And the good thing is a lot of people are coming on board to support us. So the more support that we have, the more sponsors that we have, the more that we can actually support people to come. So basically that is what we can do. And then we are also reaching out to all these big organizations basically that please, we are trying to promote people. Don't pay us, just, you know what, I want to support this person, I want to sponsor this person, and then we give their proposals. Because even out of the people in Ghana who have registered for the competition, there are over 100, I guess, Babatunde? Yeah, there are over 100, and there are some it's difficult to choose. Their ideas are really good, and you're looking, how can I pick 10 out of this amazing 30 ideas? So there are some that we give to some of these investors that take a look at these people. Trust me, you want to invest in them. Let them come to Dubai so they can meet other investors, because that was what happened in Dubai last year. Even the people that didn't win, they got investors who were interested. So in our own little way, we keep saying we're also a small company, but we believe in this is worth the investment for us. But we'll continue to do the little that we can do. We can't take 100 startup, even if it's one, we'll do. Then as we grow, if it's 2, if it's 3. So all the winners from all these countries, we are the one sponsoring them ourselves over to Dubai. Even the first $5,000, it was the company that paid that. But now this year, we have banks who have said, you know what, we like what you're doing. In fact, we don't want to announce it yet, but some banks are saying we'll pay $10,000 for the winner. Even the second runner-up will get money. So we are actually getting, you know, more. So we need your support. We need everybody's support for us to be able to do more.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Bola. Do we have any other person with a question or a comment? Okay, I think we can begin to wind down now. Okay, you have a question? All right, please, by all means. It's good to have a lady. Yeah.
Thank you very much. My name is Ruth, and I want to know how, looking at the presentation that has happened, it's been more of food security and trade and little bit of technology, which is major points here. So I don't know if it's you're yet to talk about it. Okay, then.
All right. So with technology, what she has said about the Innovate Agri Challenge is now, for us, we don't believe that a single entity can drive technology. We believe that to drive technology, we need scale. To scale, we need different ideas, different systems. You know, like I pointed out the other time, we have to have people disrupting in every sector. Agriculture is broad, and there are several elements in the value chain. So we need to have people disrupting in agri-logistics. We need to have people disrupting in soil science. We need to have people disrupting in agri-economics. We need to have people disrupting in, even in raising funds. For example, with farm crowding in Nigeria, with trotro tractors in Ghana, with quite a number of. So what we have decided to do is look for partnerships with bigger agri-tech companies, bigger, more even people that are out of agriculture. You know, it was good to see Cosmos Energy investing in agriculture. You know, having them invest in agri-technology. One of the baby steps that we have taken is with the Innovate Agri Challenge, and we're glad to see that it's becoming bigger. Last year we had about 934 applications. This year we hit 1,000 since February. At the moment, we would even need consultants and partners to help us decide on the best 10 to make the short list. So we have a pool of innovators that have submitted their idea. Now, the format for the competition is simple. We have different ideas from different countries. At the end of June, we're going to announce from each country and each country is divided into different regions. For example, with West Africa, we have Nigeria, we have Ghana, we have Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia. People that fall from the West African region, we have winners from each of those countries. They are national winners, right? And then all of them will now eventually compete to become the regional winner. Now, from each region, from West Africa, we pick one person. From MENA will pick one person, from East Africa will pick one person, South and Central Africa will pick one startup that would eventually go on to compete for $5,000. And as we get more partnership, the prize money goes up. Like she had mentioned, it could be 10,000. We'll be announcing all that in the course of the year ahead of the conference. So we're not looking to, as a consulting company, disrupt. We're looking to enable. We're looking to enable disruptors. We're looking to enable tech companies. We're looking to help the people that are looking to solve these challenges with our own little way. And we focus on synergy. And that's why we're looking to reach out to partners. We're looking to reach out to Ministry of Trades, Investments, Ministries of Technologies, Ministries of Agriculture, key stakeholders, bigger companies that can support these younger businesses to see how we can, with technology, disrupt. With technology, we can accelerate the growth of agriculture in Africa, and then we can see how we can help feed the world in reality. So, Innovate Agri Challenge, we had said that it's been on since from January the 1st to June the 30th. The link just closed on Sunday, but with different partners, we could open up for more entries to see how we can have more startups join in and see how we can have truly the best agri-tech ideas from Africa, export to the rest of the world, and show the world our own technology, things that we've been able to build, and see how we can help our Africa provide food for the rest of the world. I hope that answers your question very effectively. Yeah, and then, of course, we could still see to talk about much later after now. Yeah, all right. Thank you very much, everyone. Oh, you have a question too? Okay, you see the thing with women? All right. Okay, please.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to ask, if you want to be at the conference, but at the same time want to exhibit, how should one go about it?
Okay, yeah. So I'm sure with you on your tables, we have, okay, on the registration table, we have exhibition packages. We have even sponsorship packages. We have the travel information for the man that was asking from our partners at Travels on Click. We have exhibition information. So you would get all that. See, my colleague is with it. She can just extend to you. So and then you can also visit our website, www.mtfc.crinovate.com. It's right there on the flyer and the trifold that you have. Our information are there. You could, of course, reach out to us right after now. We could exchange contacts, and then we'll be in constant communication. But then, yes, it is possible. We'll have exhibitions. We'll have, in fact, some countries are even planning trade missions to say, bring delegates from their country for something like a trade exploration in the UAE. Those are things that we can explore. We can see all these opportunities and see how we can work together to make it happen. It is very possible. Thank you very much for that question. And please, you could pick a copy of any of the materials from the registration stand that you do already have in the notebooks and flyers with you. All right. So as we begin to wind off, we just want to show you the journey map of our journey this year up until we have the grand finale, right? This way. So we are Kenya earlier, then Rwanda, Ghana today. So we'll move on to Uganda, Tanzania, Lagos, Nigeria, Abuja, Nigeria, and then we cross over to South and Central Africa, South Africa, Angola, Congo. So, and then next will be to the GCC region, where we have Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, and the UAE right before the grand finale on the 27th and 28th. Now, the next video would show about Innovate Agri Challenge, just like many of us have been asking about technology. Innovate Agri Challenge is part of the Meet the Farmers Conference. It. And then for more information on the conference, this is promo video. So we urge us, you could visit our website again, follow us on any of the social media channels where you have. We're on Twitter as Meet the Farmers, we're on Facebook at Meet the Farmers Conference, we're on Instagram, Meet the Farmers Conference as well. There's you could also follow our company, Cranovate, that's the parent company. The parent company is involved in quite a number of things: research, management, consulting, business setup, everything pretty much that you would need as long as you are doing business between Africa and the GCC. We can help you with it. So we hope that you can talk to us right after now, and then we can, of course, see how we can make your business, our business, better. All right. So I would welcome again the event organizer, Bola Oyedele, and of course, she said quite a lot. I mean, by now you already know that she's into this a lot. There's agriculture in her blood. There's agro exports in her voice. You know, let's put our hands together as we welcome her for the vote of thanks and closing remarks. Please put your hands together, please.
Thank you, everyone. I want to thank everyone that has come today. We thank you for your contribution, for your comments, because I believe everyone that has come here today is really trying to see what we can do and how we can work together to make this dream a reality. I know it's going to take a lot of work, but I believe that we are willing to do it. And we keep saying it. This is like our motto: Africa is going to feed the world. And we will feed the world. I know it is possible. We have all it takes. And I know we can do it. So, and even you coming here believing in this dream is enough motivation, I think, for every one of us to just keep pushing, to keep going, and to bring this dream. So I would like to really thank Cyril from the Dubai Chamber. I really appreciate all your effort. You've always been there for us from when we started coming to Ghana. And thank you. He was the one who actually made sure that of the Dubai chapter itself, Omar, was part of the conference last year, and that was like a big, like a huge success for us, basically, having the head of the Dubai Chamber at the conference last year. And also the Ministry of Agriculture here has been very helpful. GEPA as well, GIPC, Exim Bank, though they couldn't make it, they've been very supportive as well. And also Agility Logistics, they've been amazing too. And I know they've started in Ghana as well. And then I would also like to thank the media houses and our official media partner, Peace FM and UTV. Thank you very much. And thank you for everyone. I can't even thank you enough. And please let us feed the world, and together we can do it. Thank you, and have an amazing day.
So thank you everyone for coming.